So I'm Dan, I'm the CEO of Link My Books. We started around 4 years ago, came off the back of me being an Amazon seller, previous to that for about 4 years. And as Nick said, normally I live in Sweden. You might hear that I'm not from Sweden. I'm actually from Newcastle in England. But I'm currently in Gran Canaria just because the Swedish winters are awful and it's 30 degrees here, so why not? So what we're going to go through today, let's have a look. So I had a little agenda. I only have 8 minutes, so we're going to speed through this. So a little bit about who I am, about the hurdles of bookkeeping, how Link My Books can help, a quick demonstration, how to get started, pricing and Q&A, but we'll probably just do the Q&A right at the end. So who am I and who's Pete, my business partner? So we are both actually ex-7-figure Amazon sellers, which I said. I exited my business in 2018. He exited his in 2019. Got a bunch of likes on the screen there, but conscious we've only got 8 minutes, so I'm going to push on from that. Basically, the top and bottom here is we sort of know stuff in this space. We're quite well experienced in running large Amazon businesses, and the team that we've got with Link My Books made up of accountants as well. So we've got a good bit of experience behind us. So I don't know whether we can do this, Nick. I didn't ask you this before, but can we do some sort of poll where we can ask the audience a question here?
You can do anything but undress yourself. Don't do that. So
yeah, that would be very unsexy. Okay, so quick question for everyone out there. So we see in the industry that people are generally doing one of 3 things for their Amazon bookkeeping. It comes down to these A, B, and C. So if you can in the chat or something like that, just write A, B, and C if any of these apply to you, and then we can have a look at that afterwards. But essentially, it normally boils down to entering your sales and fees as a monthly summary, entering your individual orders, or using some sort of magical spreadsheet and lots of your time to effectively make sure that everything is correct in terms of where orders are going to, et cetera, and making sure that the correct taxes are applied. So while you're all putting those answers in, I'll have a look at number 1, which is people use this report. So the date range report from Amazon, and they basically take the income figure and they take the expense figure and they slap those into Xero or QuickBooks, and then we're done, right? But the problem with that is that it's not accurate. And the reason it's not accurate is, well, there's lots of reasons, but a couple of the main reasons are, if you're based in the UK, then you need to be separating out your sales and refunds by where they're going to make sure that you pay the correct amount of VAT. And the same goes for your fees as well. There's various different tax rates that get applied to fees. You need to be making sure that you separate those things out. And the second main reason is that included in those income and expense figures are often Amazon reserve balances. So where Amazon is holding on to some funds for future payout. And those are just your cash that's floating around. They're not a turnover item. And therefore, you need to be separating those out as well. I will come to that a bit later on. Now, entering individual orders into Xero is extremely hard to reconcile because you've got payouts every 2 weeks. And now you've got loads of orders. How on earth are you going to reconcile those together? And then using spreadsheets is the most accurate, but it's not completely accurate because it's prone to human error sometimes. You can drag down the wrong formula, you can insert the wrong data, et cetera, et cetera. So what is the solution then, Dan? If all that's rubbish, then what should we be doing? Well, of course you should be using my product, but that's maybe for you to decide. So accurate, automated, and easy to use, that's what Link My Books is. And what we do is we effectively sit between the sales channels like Shopify, Amazon, Etsy, and eBay, and your bookkeeping platform like Xero and QuickBooks. So how does it work? Well, every time you receive a payout from the sales channel, let's take Amazon as the example here, we'll collect all the data from Amazon and we'll make sure that we can break down what that payout is made up of. So this is a screenshot of our dashboard, and this fictitious client has received a payout from Amazon.co.uk for £10,000. So what's that made up of? Well, that's made up of various things. And so what we've done here is we've separated that out into sales that have gone to the UK and outside the UK, all the different types of fees and all your refunds as well. And the reason we separate those things out is because there's different tax rates to apply to those things. So it's really important that you do that. So before, when we talked about the typical way of doing things is to just take that date range report and take your income and your expense figure and slap those into Xero or QuickBooks, and that's it, you're done. Well, unfortunately, as you can see here, that results in you overpaying VAT. So by not separating out your sales and your refunds and your different types of transactions, in this case, this £10,000 payout has resulted in the client paying £616 too much VAT. And so by using something like Link My Books to automate that, not only do you save a lot of time, but you also end up saving loads of VAT. Just like 2 weeks ago, we had a client that did this and then realized they'd been overpaying VAT. So they went back and redid their books for the last 2 years, and they ended up basically saving £100,000 of VAT. So I posted about that on LinkedIn, and it went sort of like semi-viral, 1,000 views, you know. So what does that look like when it gets into your zero account? So nice and clean, basically. It means you can easily identify your opportunities. You've got all your sales and refunds and all the different types of fees broken down. Everything goes in the right places in your bookkeeping system. But that's not all. You can also do a bit of work and a bit of magic around cost of goods sold. So obviously one part of accounting is your sales and fees, but then the other part is how much did you pay to make those sales? So the inventory that you purchased needs to be accounted for as well. And that needs to be done as and when it's sold, hence the word cost of goods sold. So what we do is we will help you to automate that as well. So you tell us the land cost of each of your items, and then as you are selling them, we will make that adjustment in your bookkeeping. So you'll end up with another little line in your P&L, which is Amazon cost of goods sold. And now your operating profit at the bottom is actually a true reflection of your net profit. So you'll be able to see all your sales minus your costs, minus all your business expenses, plus all your other expenses, obviously paying your VAs and things like that, softwares. But you'll be able to see a much better picture month to month of what it looks like. So what do you need to do? Well, it's actually quite easy. So every time you get a payout from Amazon, you'll have a deposit line on your bank statement, and you'll have a corresponding invoice from Link My Books. So all you need to do is just click OK in the middle or match on QuickBooks, and that's it. You're done. It's reconciled. You've now got an accurate P&L. You've got a VAT return if you're a UK customer, which is showing all the correct figures and you're paying the right amount of VAT. And it's a one-click reconcile. So now it takes you like a couple of minutes every month to do your bookkeeping. So that's all good and well, but so it must be really hard to set up, right? Well, not quite. It's actually quite easy. 4 steps. 2 of those don't apply if you're not in the UK. So the first step is if you have an Amazon account here, for example, we split all those different transactions of the payout down into these transaction categories. And then you choose an account that you want those to go into. It's no more complicated than that. The second thing is if you're a UK customer, you tell us where you've got VAT registrations. And the third thing, again, UK customer only, tell us if you sell any 0 rated or reduced rated products, because we need to separate those out as well. And then the last step, which is for everyone, is to just confirm your tax rates. So we actually pre-fill these for you based on our sensible defaults, which we've sort of done in collaboration with our experience and the accountants in our team. And a lot of information that we've detected from your sales channel and also from your bookkeeping platform to make sure that these are pretty much as accurate as you can get. It is obviously your responsibility to make sure they are correct for your business, which is why I'll put that little tick box at the bottom. I do want to go through this on a call. We can arrange those normally next day. So you can jump on with one of the accounts in the team and go through your setup, make sure everything's correct. You've got the email and chat support afterwards during normal business hours. All the plans have a free 14-day trial, and you can actually go back up to 24 months if you need to redo your bookkeeping like that guy did the other day. So if you want any more information on pricing, head across to linkmybooks.com/pricing, and you can actually play around with that slider and see how much you would land on depending on your size of business. And that's it. Hopefully that was less than 8 minutes. Any questions you can take now or at the end. And again, get started for free at linkmybooks.com.